Hello, everybody. Welcome to Transform20. This event is about robotic process automation and digital transformation by Hilail, Kinda, and Asif. So welcome, everybody. So just a quick introduction about the speakers, right? Hilail is our pre-sales and customer success operations manager at Uipath. He has about 12 years of experience working with leading technological organizations in Netherlands and Middle East. He's also helped build numerous implementations and digital transformations using robotic process automation. He's also joined by his colleagues today, Mohammad Amir, who is the Senior Accounts Manager at CATEC, and Kinda, who is the Business Development Manager at CATEC. Both of them have been responsible for sales and marketing at CATEC. So over to you, Hillel. Please start your presentation. We can see it.
Thank you much. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Can you please confirm you can hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. So thank you everyone for being here. It's a pleasure for me to present to you. Today I'm here with CATEC, our preferred partner in Middle East and Africa. And I'm going to be talking about RPA and digital transformation and how they work together. So let me move the slide. So why the urgency for digital transformation? Now with the COVID-19 curve settling down and us getting used to the new norm, a lot of companies are accelerating digital transformation, and according to Gartner, digital transformation is the process of exploiting digital technologies and supporting capabilities to create a robust new business operation. And when you define a strategy for digital transformation within an organization, automation would be a big part of it. We know 93% of organizations start their digital transformation journey with automation. So across all industries, C-level decision makers are using digital technologies to improve the operational processes within their organization. This is where RPA comes in handy. With the automation capabilities such as executing large amounts of back office activities. Now, we know from history, it has been proven that early technology adopters will win the game. If we look at when the internet came about and later the mobile, you can see on the screen here companies that were struggling to adopt these technologies, as well as other companies that were thriving. And automation is no different in this aspect. We can see Amazon, for example, today, and Borders being disappeared from the market, and the others are here, Uber and Netflix. So what are the benefits of RPA, robotic process automation? When companies implement robotic process automation, it will eliminate errors and execute the processes much faster. RPA is similar to macro in Excel, except it is free from the confines of the spreadsheet. You can automate processes across multiple platforms and across multiple departments using RPA, allowing your employees to focus on more meaningful tasks rather than the mundane, boring tasks that RPA can take on its own. And then what you can also do with RPA is ensuring compliance. What you can do is you can embed a compliance step within your process, making sure that it is being executed according to the rules and regulations. Sometimes humans tend to skip some of these steps. With RPA, you can be sure that once you embed it in the process, it is being executed and you are 100% compliance. What you will also be able to do is increase security using RPA. When you deploy RPA, the bots will not only operate within your IT environment and behind your firewall, but also adhere to your security compliance. The bots have the capability of working with sensitive information and data, where it will operate in the background and you don't need to give your human employees access to these sensitive data. And that is how you will also increase security within your organization. What we also know is that RPA will enable AI technologies. RPA is considered to be the platform where you can plug in all kinds of AI technologies where the robot will be collecting data from different sources, passing it on to an AI brain, and then that AI brain will process this information and come up with a result or an answer. And based on what kind of answer that is, the robot will then take on another branch of that process. So you can sub-branch your process into different directions based on these AI results that are being integrated within our RPA platform. The other thing that RPA will be doing is enhance customer experience. The robots will always execute high quality and consistent process execution on a 24/7 basis. This is internal and as well as external. So your employees will be benefiting from this when the robot takes on the mundane and repetitive tasks, so that they can focus on higher activities, higher value activities such as customer care, sales, marketing, resulting in improved customer experience and higher customer retention. The last thing that I want to mention here on RPA is that you will have full governance of your digital workforce. Whatever the robots are doing, the logs are being saved with extensive information. So you will be able to use these logs and use our insights capabilities to build dashboards, to have your reports, to put in alerts every time a step of a process happens based on business rules or based on exceptions. You can manage all that and have full visibility of your digital workforce. Now, at Uipath, what we used to have before is a robot, an orchestrator, and the studio to develop. But now we have expanded our platform by developing products as well as acquiring several technology tools that we have embedded within our platform to provide a complete solution, end-to-end hyper-automation platform that enables customer to automate the entire life cycle of the discovery of processes all the way to measurement of the bot performances. And here on the screen, you can see the phases that we have, and each phase has different products and tools that we have within the platform. Such as the Automation Hub, for example, which I will be talking a bit more in the next slides. But basically what you will be able to do is use our platform to discover processes within your organization and then build these processes with all the tools that we have. You will be able to manage it with the orchestrator and the other tools that we have. So you will have all kind of processes within your screen. You will have a smartphone app that you can manage the orchestrator from. You have all the processes, all the priorities. You can put in variables. You can connect it with external third-party security managers to have credentials. All that is on the managed part, and then you have the run where we have attended and unattended robots. The attended robots are acting as assistants on your screen, helping the user execute a process directly from within the taskbar, and an unattended robot is running in the data center back end, kicking processes back to back by being triggered either through an email trigger or a new database record being added, or triggered by scheduling, or triggered whenever another process stops, then it kicks off another process. So unattended robots work by themselves in the back end. We also have introduced the Engage, where we have apps and assistant. The Action Center, for example, is helping users to have human in the loop. So if you have a process that is running and you need human validation or human confirmation, sometimes it is human approval based on rules. For example, in an accounts payable process where you have an invoice that requires human validation before it gets paid, you can use the Action Center to get that person a notification to take action on that process before the robot kicks it on and continues the process. And lastly, Measure, where you have all insights, dashboards, gadgets that you can put in. I will have a slide on that later on as well. So here you can see all the technology alliances. To enable digital transformation, we have built an open platform that seamlessly integrates with the technologies on this slide. For these logos, we have pre-built components, activities, workflows. We have alliances and partnerships with them to allow you to easily and more efficiently develop your processes using any of these technology platforms. For example, if we take SAP or Salesforce, once you have installed that component from our marketplace, it's simply plug and play. You will be able to simply tell the robot, create a report for me in Salesforce. Instead of having to tell the robot, you have to click, you have to log in, you have to go to this tab, because it is already familiar with this product by this component that is developed by Salesforce and our engineers. It will make it much easier for you to just drag and drop that activity of creating a report, and then the robot already knows the steps that it needs to do to build a report for you, and you only need to give the properties of that activity to develop that part. And similarly with all the other products here, we have heavy integration, back-end integration with them to make it easier for you to develop your processes. Now, what we have also introduced is Automation Hub. This is a crowdsourcing technology or tool that we have implemented, and someone in the organization can provide automation ideas. This is for your IT or your business department who is managing the Center of Excellence RPA projects, to gather ideas of automation, and based on priorities and complexities and your KPIs, you can then decide which processes you want to automate first. And if you look, this is also something that our partners and customers have been struggling with. When you ask some subject matter expert on how does a process look like, normally they will draw something like this, where in reality the process would be looking more like this. So to help with this, we have acquired the technology and embedded it within our platform. It's now called Uipath Process Mining, which allows you to gather the logs of your systems and analyze them, and then have a full picture of your processes and understand which is the happy scenario, which is the end-to-end quick flow process branch of that process, or how many times it is going through other branches, and then you can analyze and decide, well, for this process, for example, I'm going to automate 2 or 3 branches because these are the ones that are happening most of the time, and that covers 80% of the transactions for this process. So this tool helps you identify these processes and understand the flow of these transactions within that process using Uipath Process Mining. What we have also introduced besides process mining, because process mining can only gather data from logs from your back-end systems such as Salesforce, SAP, Oracle, etc., your ERP systems, and so forth. There are sometimes steps of a process where the user executes a step outside of these systems. For example, if the user needs to send an email or read some information from a website or something like that. And for that, we have introduced task mining, which allows the user to click record, and it will record the screen, and that is what is seen here. It will capture the whole process. The user clicks record and goes into the system and executes that system. As you can see on the screen here, the user is just entering data into a system. And on the right side, you can see that all is being recorded. Once that is done, the system will already have a workflow for that process, including the screenshots and all the selectors and all the information needed for that process. And the user can hide sensitive information or put in annotations and information to make it more clear for the developer on what needs to be done here. And then this same file can be either exported into Word to create a PDD document, a detailed information document with all the print screens and the steps of that process. But the beauty of it is that you can export it as a studio file and import it within the studio. And here you have the whole process already within UiPath Studio. So you have about 50 to 60% of that process already developed for you within the UiPath Studio, making it much easier for you to automate that process. Now, what we have also introduced is document understanding in financials, in banks, in any organization actually that is dealing with documents, OCR. We have introduced an AI machine learning tool called Document Understanding that helps you classify documents and have a human in the loop of which can put in confidence levels. So for example, if you have a document and the robot is extracting data from this document, but the robot is not 100% sure whether it is an O or a 0, it will pass it on to a human being based on rules and confidence level that you set in the system. And the human being will correct it. And the next time the robot will learn from it and understand that this is a 0 or an O based on historical data. This is the insight that we have also introduced recently, allowing you to draw dashboards and widgets based on KPIs that you have set on if the robot's average handling time of a process is this much and you have this much transactions per day on this process, then your savings are that much, and that is all what you can see here. You can see which processes are being executed, which robots are executing which processes, because you can manage all that within the orchestrator. You can see this and put in smart alerts. You have your dynamic dashboards, machine learning powered forecasting if that is something that you are part of your business. So we have a comprehensive analytics tool called Insights that we have introduced that is specifically displaying information related to the processes that are being automated and run by your robots. The UiPath vision is a robot for every person, and we already have numerous organizations that have adopted this vision where every employee is given a robot, and with Studio X, which is our citizen developer tool, a non-technical or non-developer has the ability to easily having a wizard like development tool to develop his day-to-day automations that particularly would not make it to the IT department, because these are small automations and have low priorities, which are only applicable for one person or a couple of persons. So for those kind of automations, you can use Studio X, and this is where the vision is coming from, a robot for every person. Well, if you come to security, we have all the security certifications that you would expect from an enterprise solution like ours. We have 60 plus government agencies using our platform, and obviously we have all kind of securities and certifications that you would expect. UiPath is a full platform. We have our end-to-end solution, and it is much more than a product. We call it an ecosystem, where we have a free academy for anyone to train yourself with RPA with all kind of modules, whether it is business analyst or developer or security or infrastructure engineer, etc. We also have global partners. On this call today, we have CATEC is our partner in the Middle East and EMEA region. Partner technologies, like I've shown you the logos, we also have partners that develop proprietary technologies and integrated with our technology, providing a specific solution that tackles specific problems. The forum we have where you can ask questions and the community is there. Global services. We have the largest community of RPA on the planet. And a very important thing is the Go marketplace, where we have all kind of components that you can download, activities that are either developed by us or by our partners. Most of them would be validated by UiPath, and then you would see that it is validated by UiPath and tested. Otherwise, you can use any of these on your own risk. On the marketplace, all kind of activities are there, workflows, so you don't have to redevelop things that have been developed already, and you can share data there as well. These are out-of-the-box components that you can find on our academy. It's on the website uipath.com, so if you need any kind of component, reusable components, you can search them here and reuse them. Here we have a slide of the processes that we believe every company should be automate. These are the processes that are repetitive in nature. These are the processes that are mundane. These are mostly rule-based. We see companies starting with these processes. Most of these are the low-hanging fruit automations that companies start their automation journey with. And this is where it also enables the digital transformation using automation to automate these processes. Last but not least, I wanted to share with you the Gartner Magic Quadrant for RPA. You can see UiPath is one of the leaders in this industry. For a second consecutive year, we are very proud of this. We also have other third-party evaluators that, such as Forrester, that also place UiPath as one of the three leaders out there. And that's basically it from my side. I would like to jump into questions and answers. I have Amir Afzal from CATEC with me here that will help us do that. Kinda is with us as well. So let's open it up for questions. Prabhu,
Thank you.
or Amir, over to you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Helen. So the first question, let me ask is, what kind of process have you automated before? That's the question.
Okay, great. So let me answer this one. Basically, we have automated multiple processes. First of all, the question is yes, and answer is yes, and we have automated multiple. When I say multiple processes, some of them are bank reconciliation, task distribution, invoice creation, processing utility bills, payments, issuing licenses, visa renewal processes, vehicle renewal processes, and processing HR requests like HR letters to be sent to the employees automatically. And after that, taking care of customer service complaints and IT support. So these are just some of them, but there is a huge list of processes which we have implemented in multiple organizations. Majority of them are the government organizations and the large enterprises.
Thank you, Amir. You also mentioned about a partner, right? So they have some questions about the partner. Have you done any RPA implementations for your partner?
Okay, so see, when it comes to partners, as Hilal said, that we have been the preferred partner for Uipath for Middle East and the North America market. We have done a lot of implementations. 90% of the implementations are being done in the government sector, and the rest 10% has been done in the enterprise sector. Basically, since inception, we have been helping out these government entities and the large enterprises to understand that what automation is and how it's going to be beneficial for them. So if I talk about the names, it won't be enough to tell that Ajman municipality is one of the customers. Tadweer Waste Management is of Abu Dhabi. It's one of the customers. Abu Dhabi Housing Authority is one of the customers. Nauri Group, which is a bank in Jordan, they are one of our customers. Zakat Fund, they are one of the customers, and it's quite a big list. So if I talk about that, how we have helped them in you can say reducing the turnaround time and increasing the profitability and increasing the you can say work efficiency. So I'll give you one example of Tadweer, which is a waste management company here in Abu Dhabi, owned by the Abu Dhabi government. They used to issue licenses, waste management licenses, and they have a staff of around 10 people who used to process around 500 licenses per day. Now it's a time-consuming job. Why? Because they have to take information from two different government portals, and after taking the information, they have to open up an internal ERP application which is being used by the Tadweer, and they have to insert all of the information over there and issue the license accordingly. Sometimes they also used to face an error coming up, a human error coming up in the issuance of the license due to the wrong information being done. It can happen because all of us, we are human. So what we did, we automated the whole process, and we put with a combination of attended and unattended bots over there. So after implementing the UiPath bots, the UiPath technology over there, the bots were able to process more than 1,000 files in maximum time of 5 to 6 hours. Before, they used to do it like 10 people were doing in 8 hours, which is a cumulative of 80 hours, and the productivity of 80 hours was only 500 licenses. But with the bot, it reduced it to only 5 hours, and it was producing double quantity. So which meant it was saving around more than 90%, not even more, exactly more than 95% of the time, and also the cost as well, because their employees after that were able to focus on the main core areas other than issuing the licenses. So yes, the implementation has been done in a lot of government entities and large enterprises, and we have hands-on experience on it. We know what it takes to automate the manual process with the UiPath technology, and we know that how to educate the customer, tell them that why is it important, and when it is important to do it.
Okay, thank you. The other question is, what is your implementation period, right? Can one bot perform multiple tasks?
See, there are two questions in this one. The first one, I think, will be, is it about the implementation periods? It completely depends on the complexity of a process. Now, either it can be a simple process, it can be a medium complex process, or it can be a complex process. So if I talk about a medium complex process, not single one, multiple processes, that can be implemented in 4 to 6 weeks of time. But again, it completely depends on the complexity of the processes and how many steps are going to be involved in it. Either the OCR is going to be involved in it or not, or is there any human intervention, or the process itself depends on any human input or not. So it completely depends on the process itself. But when it takes, if answering the question in simple words is, it does not take a lot of time for the implementation. It's just a matter of a couple of weeks to do it. And the second question, I think it's about one bot can perform multiple tasks. So the answer is yes, a bot can perform multiple tasks.
Please allow me to elaborate a little bit on that part of the question for one robot. So what you have within the orchestrator is you have a management center, and within that you can set priorities. So you can say that if a robot is doing a process and another process comes in that has higher priority, then the robot will pause that process and execute the other one. The robot can execute one process at a time. So sequentially, the robot can process as many number of processes as you want. The important part is how much a transaction of that process takes. So for example, we know in one day we have 1,440 minutes, that's 60 times 24 minutes. So as long as the robot can execute the transaction, if it is an account payable, for example, and you have 1,000 transaction and each transaction takes 10 minutes, then one robot cannot execute all these 1,000 transactions because every transaction is taking the robot 10 minutes. You will need multiple robots, but if you have just 10 transactions and for 10 minutes, then the robot can do those, and you can schedule the robot to do other things as well, or assign other queues to this robot. It is a queue system, and you assign robots with roles and with own access system to these systems to execute these robots sequentially. As long as the robot has time to execute it, you can do that for any number of processes.
Thank you, Alok. Thank you for clarifying it.
All right. This is there's a human element to this question, so I'm going to ask Kinda this question. So Kinda, what do you think about RPA doing the human repetitive tasks, right? So that this we automate this process, and we are in this digital transformation era. So do you have any thoughts on that?
For that human interaction, yeah, for sure. Now I think it's in the market, all the awareness you now try to create this awareness in the market about how we can let the people focus in their job, and all this job we can say that we consider a donkey job, that just all repetitive tasks. All these things we need to try to focus on it, and try to automate it, and let all the people focus on their job. And it will be trend in this market, especially now everyone talking about digital transformation, and how it will be the digital transformation. So there's a lot of things should be happen until we reach this area or this stage. So we have to start from the beginning, and automation is the first step, and then it will become with artificial intelligence, machine learning, all this interaction to reach to this digital transformation stage. So
one thing I would like to add here is, one thing I would like to add here is that some people do confuse it that with the digital transformation, they think that converting a manual process or digitalizing a manual process is only considered as a digital transformation, or either they do it through any technology, maybe it's a .NET technology, SharePoint or anything. So basically there is always an era of technology. So if we talk about 20 years before or 15 years before, so at that point, yes, the digital transformation did meant this, that if any organization is running on a manual process where a lot of paperwork was involved, the email work was involved. So they used to digital transform it in terms building up any portal or a business application and centralizing it. But the era now has been changed, and now it's all about automation. When we talk about digital transformation, it is nowadays it's automation, it's artificial intelligence, it's the robot process automation, it's the chatbots. So the era of the technology or the era of the transformation has completely been changed. So when we specifically talk about in today's world about digital transformation, it does mean that it is about robot process automation, first of all, because it is not only giving the you can say high productivity to the human being, to your employees, but on the other side, it is also empowering them to be more productive and to focus on the main core areas. For example, like Hilal said, that there are a lot of employees who used to do the mundane task. For if someone has been an HR manager, he might be doing a lot of work which he's not supposed to do it, but because of the workload, he has to do it. So why not let those dirty jobs or small jobs or the mundane task being given to the bots, and why not the managers or the leaders should, or the other employees should spend their time on the core job of you can say core part of their job. So coming back to the point, it's an era. This era is about all about the robot process automation and artificial intelligence.
Thank you. This one is for Hillel. So does Uipath platform require an external OCR system, or the Uipath has the OCR capabilities built in?
Yes, so with document understanding, we have introduced our own OCR that is embedded within our platform, but we have an open platform and we have integrations with all OCRs out there, such as Kofax, such as Abby, Google, Microsoft OCR, even the cloud versions of these we have integrations with. So it's up to you to choose which OCR technology you want to use. But we also have our own technology of OCR that has been implemented and is pretty advanced, even in handwriting extractions.
Okay. I have one last question. So at what point is the orchestrator required?
Hilal, can you take this one?
Absolutely. So it depends on what you are doing. If you just have one process running on one machine for one person, then you do not need the orchestrator. But if you have scheduling and you have multiple robots and multiple processes, and you are doing a transformation or an implementation that needs to scale up, then you absolutely need the orchestrator. Because within the orchestrator, you will be able to manage these robots and set priorities, have your variables, have your workflows published into it, managed centrally instead of having it on one machine. You will need the orchestrator to scale up and to have all these other capabilities that you would not have if the robot is just running on one single machine. So any process that is requiring multiple robots, or if you have multiple processes, or if you're looking to scale up your automation journey, then you need the orchestrator. And we have two types of the orchestrator. We have the ordinary one, and we have the orchestrator basic, which allows only up to 5 robots. So if needed, just take the orchestrator basic. At least you know you can easily scale up later. But this is also why CATEC can advise in this journey on letting you know whether you need it or not. In most of the cases, we never advise to just have one robot running on one machine, because that is not called an automation. It is just one. I mean, it's not called an automation transformation within your organization. It's just one person or one process running on one machine.
So how does the licensing work? Is it perpetual or is it subscription based?
So the license is subscription based annually for a robot. And it doesn't matter how many processes you have. You can have one robot doing multiple processes as long as it can do them within the day limit of time. Then you simply just need one robot. It is subscription based per year.
So that'll be all with the questions. Do you have any closing comments from the three of you?
So do we have anything more? Any more questions coming up, or?
No, we don't have any questions. I think all the questions. I think you've addressed all of them.
Perfect. So at the closing, once again, I would like to stress out about the importance of getting the processes or getting your repetitive task being automated. Sometimes, I mean, you might the organizations that might not see the benefits of it, because they see the short-term benefit. So I would like to stress out that we if you go towards automating your processes or automating your manual work or automating your repetitive task, it is going to give you a lot of benefit in the long run, not only saving the cost, not only giving the increasing the productivity, but again, it will give you a room or a cushion where you could have a lot of more time to you can say scale your operations, or to increase your productivity. For example, if you're in a manufacturing business, then you can increase your business and increase your productivity. And when it comes to you can say to educate the customer, again, I would say that we have hands-on experience with the highly skilled or highly, you can say, the certified resources we have who have extensive experience in this automation, where we can educate the customer, or we can educate their team that why these automations are necessary, or how we can automate these processes, or how Uipath platform can be you can say beneficial for them. It's an end-to-end solution. It's a single platform which covers everything, and especially with this new addition into it, which is document understanding. It is having the OCR capabilities, so it's resolving a lot of or it is addressing a lot of areas specifically to for the finance department, where you have to deal with multiple invoices coming in, or where you have to you can say extract the data from one, from these multiple invoices and insert it into your ERP systems.
Okay, thank you, Amir. Anything from you, Kinda?
Just thank you so much for this opportunity, and I wish we can be added value to any organization later to support them to increase their performance and productivity. I hope we have later more than webinars like this, and thank you for this successful webinar. And thank you, Hilal, and thank you.
All right. So thank you, everybody. Thanks for your time today, and talk to you soon.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu.
Have a nice day, guys.
You too.